Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. Not quite as sunny out there today as we enjoyed yesterday, but still awfully mild temperatures as we look down at the beautiful Columbia River from our Waterville Sky-Fi Tower camera. You can see ENIAD as well, the middle right part of your screen. And what a nice day. Temperatures on the mild side, although we are seeing more clouds moving in. That's been our trend throughout the afternoon, and that's ushering in round one of two storm systems that'll be tracking our way over the next 4 or 5 days. We expect that overnight hours tonight, not so much before midnight tonight, but I think in our overnight hours and especially into Wednesday, there you see it. Very, very light precipitation totals around Washington where cities will see that rain. We may even get missed a little bit here in the Wenatchee area, but one thing that probably won't miss us on Wednesday, and that's wind. We will see gusty winds at times tomorrow, about 20 miles an hour out of the west-northwest for us in Wenatchee, and that's a wind gust, keep in mind. We'll probably see steady wind tomorrow between 5 and 15 miles an hour, and it looks like pretty steady winds throughout Washington state as that storm system moves in and then moves out. But storm number 2, folks, it's bigger and it's a lot wetter too, and we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. An advisory panel tasked with finding ways to head off a looming financial crisis at Pangbourne Airport meets again this week. A recent survey of Chelan County PUD customers shows 62% they say that the proposed consolidation of the Wenatchee area operations into one location at Old Station would not affect them. And the Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council wants the entire community involved as it determines what social services are needed the most in the two-county region. But first, we begin tonight. It started out early this morning as a small power outage in the Waterville area. About 160 Douglas County PUD customers lost power around 6 a.m. It was all from an underground fault at the Orondo substation. Crews were forced to de-energize the whole service area to make repairs. That expanded the outage area to then over 1,100 customers. As of 11 o'clock this morning, crews had made the repairs and were in the process of restoring power to that area. An advisory panel tasked with finding ways to head off a looming financial crisis at Pangbourne Airport meets again this week. The Chelan and Douglas County Port Districts are in the process of reviewing their Airpoint Joint Operating Agreement. As the airport has grown, the operating deficits have also grown and capital investment has lagged.
And so it's not going to be something simple as being more efficient on how you operate the airport. It's going to be something that we recognize, much like our Link Transit. It is something that is very valuable, but at the same time it's hard to measure sometimes, and it will take some outside money. And so I think we will probably spend most of our time looking at what the funding options are, how to make it fair, how to make it as painless as possible, and try to make it so that the ports can get back a little bit to economic development, of which the airport is a part, but it's not all of it, and try then to operate it in a way that's going to be beneficial and to minimize that loss as much as possible.
Chelan County Commissioner Doug England was appointed to serve on the task force with several other area civic and elected leaders. He says finding a future funding solution will be a challenge.
And we're trying to think outside the box. We don't necessarily want a situation where it's finger pointing of who's doing the job and who isn't doing the job, and if somebody just bucked up and did more, that then our problem would be solved.
The Port of Douglas County has said it does not currently have the resources needed to fund its 30% share of future operating and capital costs into, and is considering terminating the joint operating agreement and giving up its management, funding, and ownership interest in the airport. Well, a recent survey of Chelan County PUD customers shows 62% said the proposed consolidation of the Wenatchee area operations into one location at Old Station would not affect them. The survey was the result of a month-long public outreach effort by the PUD to hear from community stakeholders. PUD Shared Service Director Dan Fraser says the $124 million combined service center is the most cost-effective and long-term least cost option for the PUD and its customers. PUD General Manager Steve Wright added that from a funding perspective, the project pencils out.
But we are in a position at this point with money set aside to be able to, in fact, neutralize even that difference. And so from our perspective, it hopefully looks like a clear choice, but we will wait to see what the public has to say. And what you have now seen is what you will, Dan and others will be presenting in public meetings, city councils, civic clubs over the course of the next 6 weeks.
PUD staff is working with the City of Wenatchee and Port of Chelan County to study potential future uses of the PUD's property at 5th Street and Wenatchee Avenue. Each of them is committed up to $75,000 for redevelopment planning focused on creating viable options for future use of that property. The Chelan-Douglas Community Action Council wants the entire community involved as it determines what social services are needed the most in the two-county region. To that end, the Community Action Council will hold a public forum from 5:30 to 7 p.m. That meeting is Tuesday, April 9th at the Wenatchee Community Center, located at 504 South Chelan Avenue. It's aimed to seek input from residents on the strengths and gaps in the local social services network. The public forum is one of several ways the Community Action Council is gathering information for the needs assessment, which is required by federal law every 3 years. Earlier this month, the survey was launched in both English and Spanish, asking residents to identify barriers and challenges they face in accessing services. The effort is being overseen by a steering committee made up of representatives of other social service and government agencies in the two-county area. A final report will be released to the public in May. Coming up next, it's grand opening time for the new mixed-use residential commercial complex along Wenatchee's trendy waterfront. And the month of April is Autism Awareness Month, and today is World Autism Awareness Day. We'll tell you more coming up. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
I'm working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, Wiedner Apartment Homes announces the grand opening of its new mixed-use residential commercial complex along Wenatchee's trendy waterfront. The new 312-unit Riverside 600 apartments are located near the corner of Riverside Drive and 9th Street, just west of the Apple Capital Recreation Loop Trail. The complex consists of 8 buildings on about 7 acres. Similar to Wiedner's neighboring Riverside 9 apartments, this waterfront complex mixes retail with residential. Units will range from 498 square feet for a studio apartment to 1,563 square feet for the largest live-work units. Monthly rates start at $1,105 for a studio apartment, all the way up to $1,560 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit. The complex features include a resort-style swimming pool, climbing wall and fitness center, riverfront trail access, mountain views from your patio and balcony, and retail shops just steps away. The month of April is Autism Awareness Month, and today is World Autism Awareness Day. Each year on April 2nd, people across the world come together in celebration to show support and to increase awareness, understanding, and acceptance of people with autism. It's now estimated that 1 in 68 children born in the U.S. are diagnosed with autism, and 1 in 42 boys. Hal Hunsaker, clinical director at the Achieve Center in Wenatchee, says the term autism covers a broad spectrum of disorders.
It is a broad spectrum disorder, and it kind of refers to a broad range of conditions characterized by difficulties with communication, social skills, and usually there's some behavioral components that are a little atypical. So ranging from very high functioning, a little bit socially awkward, to nonverbal, and really individuals who really struggle communicating and with some pretty severe behaviors. We recognize that this is not something that can be dealt with and changed and improved in isolation, that it's really best with families and caregivers and individuals working together to understand how to best support and train and improve the life of the individual with these difficulties. Every treatment plan, every family, and every individual is so different that it takes a lot of tools in your tool belt and a lot of patience and care, but with time and some focused love and attention from those around these individuals, the great things happen. It's wonderful to see them improve their lives.
Hunsaker says what people need to understand about individuals with autism is that they're special in many ways.
After having done this now for over 20 years, I recognize that all of these individuals have spectacular gifts and abilities. They are different than what society deems as normal, but the reality is they have amazing capacities and abilities within them that allow them to be valued and to have relationships with those around them if we desire that. And it's a pleasure to work with them and their families and to see growth and change and development, and to really understand that who they are is wonderful, and they make the world a better place.
By the way, the girl in the M&M costume, and right there on your screen, is my daughter, Sydney, who was diagnosed with autism in 2004, and I simply refer to her as my gift. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
My name is Hannah Peterson-Kinney, and I'm a certified nurse midwife. I became a midwife because I thought birth was one of the most amazing, beautiful things. It's about caring for women through many stages of life and helping to empower them with knowledge and build partners to improve their health. It would be an honor to provide care for you, and I would love to welcome you to the CVCH midwife family.
Clayton Walker, General Manager at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Wenatchee, and I'd like to invite everyone to the dealership to see how easy it is to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle at your local dealership.
And I'm Mick Fabian, General Sales Manager, and we currently have a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot to choose from, including the 2019 Motor Trend Truck and SUV of the Year.
So come on down to town and let us earn your business in 2019 at 1001 North Miller Street in Wenatchee.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, we're continuing our look at this week's NCWLIFE magazine with producer Caitlin Hedersheet as she profiles 3 local artists. Here's local fiber artist Mary Thresher in her Cashmere studio.
My name is Mary Thresher, and today we're in my fiber room, and it's just a room where I can kind of come and escape from a lot of the day-to-day things. I've tried different things throughout my art life. I've tried painting, I've done figure drawing. I always like to be creative, and I just have kind of centered on fiber arts, anything that has to do with yarn. I love embroidery, I love felted work. Right now with my knitting, the spinning and weaving has kind of taken over my passion, I guess you'd say. And it came from, I used to do a lot of hand embroidery work, but when traveling with our kids, I just started not to be able to do such fine work in the car, and so I picked up knitting needles and yarn, and now I'm knitting, I'm designing different things, I'm spinning my own yarn so that I can knit my own projects with it, and just really enjoying that tactile feel. And it also, in our busy lifestyle, it's a real, it slows me down. And I enjoy anything fine, fine lace, fine, thin yarns. And it just, again, it slows me down. It's a tactile feel, it's rhythmic, and it kind of helps me put things into perspective sometimes. Like if there's a problem I'm trying to work through, or it's been a hectic day. And at the end of it, you end up with a product that you can keep yourself if you'd like, you can give away. Sometimes I'll be working on a project that's for someone specific, and it'll help me keep them in my mind and pray for them, and allows me to kind of enter into that space of calm. I think people of all ages are again starting to return to something that gets us off of the cell phone, the computer, something that we can do, but we don't have to do it because we need to. I think for a long time people have looked at, knitting a sweater because you have to have that sweater. But in this day and age, we get to knit a sweater or spin the yarn from the sheep because it's something that we can do for enjoyment, for relaxation. Being creative with my hands started with my mom, and she taught me how to do the embroidery. She taught me how to knit. She just, taught me the basics. And over the last few years, as her life took a turn, it even became more important. I just feel like I'm carrying on a heritage item that my mom passed on to me that was important to her. And if I can do that for someone else, whether it's through the guild, through teaching, through just having a conversation at, the local, wherever, coffee house or whatever, and encourage people to pick up something to do, that would be great.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. But before we get to all those details, let's take a look outside our weather window today. This shot provided by Sky-Fi and our tower camera near Waterville, looking down at the beautiful Columbia River, parts of Eniat also in our shot here. And just a little bit of dusting of snow remains on portions of the Cascades as we meander our way down the Columbia River towards the Wenatchee area. Speaking of north central Washington, it was a nice day today. Even though we didn't see quite as much sunshine as we've been seeing, it was awfully mild out there. We got to keep in mind that we've been above normal the past few days, and we did it big time once again today. Afternoon high temperature unofficially 65 degrees today. We should be at about 59, so just a little bit over where it should be for this time of year. 38 was where we started the day, and that's about normal too. 39 is our normal low. Record high 78 degrees. Beautiful day back in 1992, and our record low 30 degrees way back in 1963. We're still sitting at 2.35 inches of precipitation for the year. Sunrise this morning 6:38, and the sun will set tonight at 7:32. Two storm systems to talk about as we get through our weather loop. One will move in tonight, not so much at 10 o'clock tonight when this shot was taken, a little bit later on, probably in our early morning hours, even though we do have a 30% chance for some shower activity. That's all because of that area of low pressure that is bringing some storminess our way. We'll have a better chance for rain though tomorrow. Cloudy skies for our Wednesday, a 40% chance of rain. Most of that will be in western Washington and the panhandle of Idaho, so just a shot at rain for us. Thursday, a little bit of a breather, mostly cloudy skies, maybe an isolated shower or two, but check out this area of low pressure spinning way out in the Pacific. That will begin to affect our weather. That's storm number 2, and it moves in on Friday. An 80% chance of rain for almost all of Washington state. That will continue into our Friday night with an 80% chance of rain as well. As we move into the upcoming weekend, not much is going to change. A 60% chance of rain as this system slowly moves to the north, but it's still going to bring waves of moisture in from the southwest. Keep in mind, the rain Saturday will be late afternoon into our evening hours. Sunday, more of the same, unfortunately for you. Mostly cloudy skies, a 60% chance of mainly morning showers on Sunday. Temperatures will cool down somewhat as well, especially Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. And it looks like high pressure, you see it right here building in, and that could make for a better week as we move through the week next week. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight we'll drop down to a mild 43 degrees, 62 tomorrow. Our first rainstorm will move in with a 40% chance of it on Wednesday. A bit of a break Thursday, mostly cloudy and 59. And I talked about cooler temperatures, 56 as we end the week on Friday with an 80% chance of rain, 59 on Saturday, a 70% chance of that wet stuff, 60% chance of rain showers on Sunday. We could see up to 4/10 of an inch of moisture before this system exits our area, and then partly cloudy on Monday with a high then near 60 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
When you have to get there on time and looking good, call Fast, Friendly, Reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Available 24/7, AC Checker Taxi has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee for your pre-booked call. Some conditions apply. Call 663-8294. AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Schedule your ride ASAP or book up to a year in advance online at azchecker.com. American Classic Checker Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Dan Kuntz filling in for the Aileen Eric Grandstrom. Let's talk sports. Tim Beckham's 2-run double capped a 4-run first inning for Seattle. Felix Hernandez looked like the Felix of old. Pitched good. M's beat the Angels. How about that? 6-3 at T-Mobile Park last night. For King Felix, Monday's win ended the drought going back to last season. That's right, he hadn't won a game since June. The veteran pitcher went the final 3 months of last year without a victory, but he overcame 4 errors by his defense to open his 15th Major League season with a W. He allowed 1 earned run, 7 hits. He pitched 5 1/3 innings, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Seattle improves to 6-1 with a victory. That ties the best start in franchise history alongside the 84, 85, and 95 Mariners. Their home run total is now at 15. Jay Bruce hit a 2-run shot in the 7th. That provided the needed cushion as Seattle and LA one more game tonight. It's a quick little 2-game series. Marco Gonzalez and Trevor Cahill will toe the rubber. First pitch at 7:10. The Wenatchee Wild are hoping to do something for only the second time during the BCHL playoffs, and that's win 2 games in a row. They haven't done that since, a long time. They're at the Cal Tire Place in Vernon, British Columbia, Game 3 of their Interior Division Finals with the Vernon Vipers. Not since the final 2 games of their series with West Kelowna had the Wild won back-to-back games. The series is tied at 1-1. Vernon edged Wenatchee in overtime Saturday. The Wild came back for the 3-0 shutout on Sunday. Game time 7 o'clock both tonight and tomorrow. A Game 4 in Vernon. You can watch the action on Hockey TV. You can listen to it live with our checker on 560 KPQ throughout North Central Washington. Now, win or lose, we know there's going to be a Game 5. It'll be Friday at the Town Toyota Center. Tickets are available now for just $10 each. Scores from baseball, pretty light. Of course, it's spring. Not a lot going on, but the Wenatchee Panthers did defeat the Davis Pirates at Rec Park. The final was 3-2, and today, Cashmere plays at Zilla at 2 o'clock. Prep soccer schedule, spring break or no spring break, they're playing. Cashmere's on the road at Royal. They started at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Eastmont travels to Eisenhower tonight at 7. Wenatchee is at home at Leibofto Field at the Apple Bowl. They got the Moses Lake Chiefs in town, and yep, we're going to have it live right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Sebastian Moraga, Matt Wisen on the call. You can watch it right here at 7 o'clock on your home for local sports, NCWLIFE channel. It is spring break for the area schools, so not a lot going on. One softball matchup to tell you about. It'll be in Chelan. It started at 11 o'clock this morning, the first of 2 games between the Goats and Granite Falls. And a reminder of what we have on tap for our TV coverage this week. As I mentioned before, soccer tonight. And then we'll feature Game 1 of the series between Wenatchee and Vernon on the division finals. That is hockey night, Thursday night at 7 o'clock. On Friday, we'll have Eastmont baseball against Sunnyside at 7, and Saturday at 7, Game 2 of the Wild and the Vipers. That is your sports schedule, and those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. Finally tonight, a Moses Lake man wanted on an outstanding warrant was arrested Sunday after falling off his bicycle while allegedly fleeing police. A story in the Columbia Basin Herald reports 27-year-old Aaron Alvarado had been contacted by officers earlier in the night. Police say he gave them a fake name and then fled on the bicycle after they confronted him. The Herald reports Alvarado fell off the bike after a short distance and was arrested. He was reportedly wanted for escaping community custody related to a charge of domestic violence. No information on the getaway bicycle or if it had training wheels. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on the NCWLIFE News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCWLIFE channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCWLIFE channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Hi, I'm Darcy Christofferson, Administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and you are watching the NCW Life channel.